Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Taryn and I make a bunch of different art videos. And yeah, let's just get started with this video. So this is a sketchbook tour, as you can tell from the title and thumbnail. I started the sketchbook in March of 2008 and ended it in November 2018. This sketchbook is mainly was my college sketchbook, so I'd take it to class and it'd have all my assignments and stuff from class in it. So you're not gonna see a bunch of personal work in this. Okay, so to start off, we have sketchbook guidelines, and then this is the project 1 guideline that we had to go over. So for this first half is my 3D design class. She had a very structured way of doing the sketchbook and stuff. So we start out with brainstorming, and then we'd research artists on both pages, and then yeah, I think this was homework. I'm not really sure, or it might have been notes, and then progress on certain projects that we did. This first project was, what was it about? I forget what it was about. Haha. Up here. Oh, a modular structure. There we go. Oh, this is vocabulary. More research. This was more having to do with how we wanted our structure to look. This was critique, and then we went on to our next project, which was the linear sculpture. And it was meant to be for the body. Okay, I'm like undoing these. I taped them all in if you hadn't noticed. So here's our brainstorming again. This is called mind mapping, so you start with one thing and then branch out. Secondary research, so you'd look up what maybe we're focusing on and some artists that do similar stuff. This is idea number 1, so I'd be wearing a coral reef on myself, which is what I went with actually. Garden of flowers, so I'd be sitting in an area that is made of flowers. And we did this all out of metal, like metal wires. So there wasn't much. And then butterfly of stomachs, so the idea was to have like a butterfly thing go around coming out of my stomach. And these are just some images that kind of inspired that. But I ended up going with coral reef, and so I had to decide how I wanted the 3D structure to look, drawing it from 2D. So that was a little challenging. And this is project number 3 of planar construction. So with this, we were building animal hybrids. Some notes, brainstorming all the different types of animals and plants there are. So we had to combine a plant and an animal. And then from those, you put 10 together basically. And then this is research. More artists. And then the 3 ideas. So first one was a sunflower bee, and they kind of had to make sense together. So like, you know, evolution made, you know, just to make it quicker, the process quicker, because you know how they pollinate. They don't pollinate sunflowers, do they? I don't know. The idea was that they'd be a flower, so it'd take less energy and stuff for them to have to pollinate and then go to another flower. Does it make sense? Second idea is a jellyfish and a like giant sea kelp. At first it was a fern, as you can see, but then I was like, that doesn't really make sense because this would make more sense. So basically the kelp would be its, oh, what are those called? They had a certain name. And I know I wrote it down because I was taking notes on it. Oh, yes. Let's drink. tentacles, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess that's what you call them. But yeah, so the sea kelp would turn into their tentacles, and it would just help them camouflage and like trick the fish kind of thing. So, and then the last one was cherry blossom snakes. So like, it's mainly just wanting it to look pretty, because I think these are pretty and like this is pretty. I just think they look nice together, and maybe again helps with like camouflage and stuff like that. That's kind of the only thing I was thinking of when I thought of bringing those two together. But I did end up going with the giant kelp and Pacific sea nettle jellyfish, basically. So with this, we were working with, I forget what type of board it was, but it was a board that would warp easy when you wet it. I forget what it was called though. It says it somewhere in this book, so if you spot it, tell me in the comments, I guess. But basically I had to figure out a way to make it look 3D. So this is all trial and error of trying to find, and then I ended up making the, what's it called? The tentacles, the giant kelp, the out of paper instead of the board that we were using. And the only thing I wish I did was make it bigger, because in reality it was only about this big, the head of the jellyfish. Okay, they have names. I researched this all, so I should know what it is, but yeah, it was about this big, and the paper was kind of long, but yeah. And then we also had to make a concept board, so, and write a few notes down here. So I made it a triangle, and then I put the jellyfish here that I made, and then I put illustrations because that's what we were supposed to do. We also had to make a new name. I don't know if I went with jellyfish or not. I don't know. I don't remember. We also had to make a smaller version of, which is what a maquette. I don't know how to pronounce things. And then our last project was modeled form. Oh yes, so we had to be in groups for this. And here's brainstorming. We had to work with food and like clay. We had to make kind of, not necessarily mini food, but we had to make them look animated and personified. So, some research beforehand. I really like to decorate this because I like a colorful sketchbook. And obviously with just researching and stuff, you can't necessarily, like, I obviously made it colorful, but like, it can get pretty boring if you don't put a lot into it. Notes. So we had to come up with a theme, and the theme we wanted, and then different foods to go within that theme. So I kind of planned something out, and then it got shot down by the teacher. And then we ended up doing like this apartment fridge, and there was a burglary going on while everyone was at home. Peanut butter and jelly, strawberry and grape kids, a wiener dog. And then this was the burglar here. The hamburger was the burglar that was scaling the top of the fridge, and this was our fridge. And this was notes for quizzes. The parents were peanut butter and jelly, and the kids were strawberries and grapes. The dog and the burglar. And then another theme of inspiration was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and I forget this one movie, but it was the movie with the hot dogs, and like, it was kind of inappropriate, so it definitely wasn't meant for kids. But I forget what it was. Yeah. And then this class ended, and I ended up using this for some other like personal work in this area. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna collage and it's gonna be cool. Yeah, and then I was like, oh wait, I have another class. So this was my self-portrait for the first day of class. I spelled earrings wrong. So basically in his illustration class, he used the sketchbook as an extra assignment basically to do outside of class, like a lot of sketchbooks are for art classes. But we also used it for our process like we did previously. So this part was a sketchbook assignment, and then this was the start of our first. So these are thumbnails for our first project and just a bunch of ideas. I forget, what did I end up? Oh yes, I remember now. So, and during the class, we learned how to come up with different ideas and how to brainstorm and all that. These next 3 ones are thumbnails for the, like, compositions, not necessarily thumbnails, but compositions of what I might do. They're all very different. I ended up going with an idea like this, but I obviously changed him a little bit. He's more relaxed. The whole idea of this project was to be hypercognition, so like you're not aware of something. It's hard to explain because it's like something that you don't know, don't understand, or don't necessarily have a word for. So these are different thumbnails, color thumbnails. It was in black and white, so we didn't have a ton of color for these. I honestly think this was my personal best in the class, but this was another sketchbook assignment. We had to match the color. He said I did a pretty good job, but I should keep working, and I never did. That's how you get real work done, kids. These are pre-notes thumbnails. So we had to do Grimm Brothers fairy tale, like a book cover. And I decided to do the hardest of them all and combined all the books that I read, and that really was the reason I did not do so well. This is another way of coming up with ideas, mind mapping basically, but I think it had to do with these ideas instead to kind of help. I think it was like an advertisement type of deal, but I'm not 100%. This is mind mapping though. Come up with some more thumbnails if we could get any ideas from the mind mapping. More mind mapping. An artist I was supposed to look up but never did. And then if you noticed, I circled these in different colors. So the colors are here with the thumbnails I could think of. Another sketchbook assignment. Thumbnails. I really like this one. I wish I kind of went with that one, but it's fine. Sketchbook assignment that I didn't get correct. This was for a bio that we had to do of somebody else for the books that we were doing. So like on the books, you know how there's artist bios. So instead of writing our own bios, we had to interview somebody and write their bio, because it would make it easier to write about somebody else than yourself. Another brainstorm that I decided to do. What is this? Oh. This was for the next project. So we had to pick a movie and make a poster for it. I decided to do Harriet the Spy, so these are the thumbnails. And again, didn't really like how this one turned out either. But that's okay. Learned a lot. So composition number 1, number 2, and number 3. I didn't go with any of these ideas. These are portraits we had to do for a sketchbook assignment. I ended up doing the characters from Harriet the Spy. It's a good movie. Just I didn't do a very good job on the poster. Another thing to come up with ideas. Another way to come up with ideas. And then this was going off of some things that we did. How to combine symbols, basically. More thumbnails. This was the final one that I ended up, well, not the final one, but I did something like it. I ended up flipping this that way. Those are some notes that they gave me after presenting them with the thumbnails that I did there. And then I eventually went with something like this. I was gonna do it like this and like it, and then I didn't, and I butchered it. I should really redo it. I think that's what I want to do. Sketchbook assignment. I forget what that was, but I think it was like I had to do a watercolor step. So I do these when I feel like I need to warm up, but I don't necessarily want to draw anything, so I do a bunch of like ellipses and straight lines, or try to do straight lines. Obviously they're not entirely straight. Another one, this time I had a photo reference, so I tried to do, but it didn't turn out very well. And then the last one was my favorite one. It was character design. So these were kind of some ideas that were going through my mind. Like, I like how these legs weren't like, they're like cones basically. So I kind of kept the idea with this guy. And then this is his sidekick, but he does not look like that. And then these were just trying to come up with the third character that we had to do. I didn't end up going with any of these, but notes that I wanted to take. Notes on heroes, tricksters, and innocent, which is what I kind of went with when I went with the characters. And this is the girl that I came up with. It was the little sister to the guy in the green pants, if you can remember back. Yeah, so this character. And I really like how I did this, but she looks totally different. So this was the guy. I was trying to come up with maybe some colors for him. The dude that I ended up changing. Here's the girl on her face. I do have, yeah, I was gonna say I don't think, did I? No, I didn't end up going with him, so, but. Another way to come up with characters is just to block their shape out. So like, this is the overall shape, and then you go in and make faces and stuff out of them, just so they have an interesting shape that you're focused on. This is the shape that I ended up kind of going off of for the one guy. Not exactly, but something closer to what I wanted. Faces for the other guy. See, this is the, I think, do I have, or did I not put them in here? Oh, I guess I didn't put it in there, but this is kind of how they look too. I might put up on the screen like how they looked, because I ended up putting them all digitally in there for their sketchbook assignment. This is for another class. Oh, here's the girl and so how she kind of looked. Sketchbook assignment, and I'm done. I do have a few pages left in here, but I usually don't, I know. It's not enough for me to do another class, and I don't like, because you know how I did the middle part here where I started like doing my own thing, but I didn't really like that because I thought I was going to make the rest my own thing, but ended up using it for another class. Maybe I'll use these last pages to do something, but I don't think so. But yeah, it's the end of this sketchbook. It's really torn up. But yeah, I used this one throughout my 2018 journey. It's now 2019. Don't forget to hit that subscription button if you want to see more videos from me, and the notification bell to be notified every time I upload. And maybe leave a like, comment something down below, tell me your plans for 2019, and I will catch you next time with another video.